सर्वसिद्धिदासादनम् ॐ श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ वृषभं चक्रणीनां विश्वरूपमदाभ्यं बृहस्पतिं वरेण्यम् ॐ तद्विष्णोः परमं पदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयः गिरिवचस्फुराततम् ॐ श्लीं ह्रीं ज्योतिर्ब्राह्मणाय नमः। Everybody repeat Hare Rama Krishna. Om Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Rama Krishna. So, please give me the data and November 21, 2004. November 21, 2004. Nashua. Time? 8:30 AM. Bloodga ఉందండి. Better? చెప్పండి. 8:30 AM ఎక్కడ నాష్వా అన్నారా? నాష్వా. ఏం చేద్దాం? ఏం చేయాలి? Okay. So the data is November 21, 2004, 8:30 AM, 5 hours west of GMT. The place is Nashua, New Hampshire, USA. 71 degrees, 28 minutes, 5 seconds west. 42 degrees, 45 minutes, 55 seconds north. Okay. Okay, so what are we looking for? The health of the person?
We are looking for the health of the body.
Yeah.
We are looking for any specific health indications or any because it's not a problem, but it looks like there is some kind of hyperactivity.
Always or occasionally?
I would say this is
In general, he is hyperactive. Yes. Okay. So this theory is very hyperactive, and what else?
hyperactive, and he sometimes we say something shout suddenly.
Shouting comes in the shiver, as if he is afraid of something, or he's in some other plans or something like that. So he will be shivering,
And then he will shout.
and then he will shout. That is how he releases that anger.
Okay. So he occasionally.
Most and usually the doctor gets up
From the
in
bed.
morning.
So usually when he gets up from the bed in the morning, he shivers. After he gets up from the bed, he just shivers and then he shouts once. And that
Not shouting may not occur at that time. If it happens during his active time,
yeah.
at that time he shouts and he gets that and follows the shouting.
Okay. So I see. So he it's not only at the after getting up. Any time basically he may suddenly shiver and then he may shout. So he makes some noise after shivering. So the theory, his father wants to know whether this is a health or mental kind of problem, or whether this is something like Kundalini energy basically flowing through the person and not being able to take it. So we want to basically consider both the angles. So
Another point is we considered once a long time that we considered gave some examples of phobia of a person from previous time.
Yeah.
Phobia of heights or water phobia or whatever.
Yeah.
So is this related to any kind of phobia from the soul?
Okay. What is this phobia of? What is your
It
definition?
is some remembrance of some occurrence. I don't know. We can't know. But that thought when it comes suddenly possibly gets.
So basically, in the subconscious plane of the mind, subconsciously, he is basically remembering something from the past, and he is basically very disturbed which basically means the shivering is happening because of some disturbance at the either conscious or subconscious level. So that will show up in the D30 that we wanted to see. So we want to see if this is a health problem, this is a physical, for example, nervous system may have some problem. This can occur if there is some nerve somewhere which is rubbing against something. So this can be a physical problem, nervous problem. This can be a mental problem. This can be a subconscious problem. Subconscious mind may be disturbed by something. So it may be happening because of it. Or like the father suspected, it could also be some kind of energy flowing through the person that the person is not prepared to handle. Right. Okay. Let us see one after the other. First, let us see the health angle.
How close is the Lagna?
The Lagna is at 25 degrees 44 minutes in Scorpio. So Rashi Lagna is safe. It is in Scorpio. Pakka. Now Navamsha is a different matter, but let's directly go to D6 and D30. Actually, let's first go to D30, because that is the root of all the problems, whether physical or mental or subconscious. The root of all the problems is the D30, the past things. So if you look at D30, first, what is the dasha that we should be seeing? Has it been occurring since his birth, or when he is like reasonably young, or recently?
I observed it when he was very young. So, but my wife says it is only recently.
Yeah.
But my observation is that he is doing it in
Okay, like 1 to 2 years, 3 years kind of thing. So this has been happening. Since a very young age, almost since birth. So this is either something that is present in the chart always, or this is something that is present in the current dasha. So what is the dasha we should use for this person? What do you guys think? Sun is in Lagna, absolutely. So Chaturthi Samadasha is 10th Lord in 10. Shashtihayani dasha, yes, correct. So we use the Shashtihayani dasha instead of Vimshottari dasha. So that is the dasha we will apply for this person. That will give the best result. So he is, since his birth, actually even before birth, he was running Rahu dasha. So until recently, until September 30, he was running Rahu dasha, and recently he started Guru dasha. So this has been happening even in the last couple of months, right? This is not something that suddenly stopped. Okay, so let's say this is a lifelong thing. This is not basically because of the current dasha. Let us say this is a lifelong thing. Right. But the thing is, Rahu basically triggered it. It was triggered in Rahu dasha. Yeah? Okay? Right. Right. The Badakala. Right. Okay, so that is a good point. So Vimshottari, even though Shashtihayani dasha gives better results for him, when you are looking at any mental ills, if there are any mental illness, etc., Vimshottari dasha is still expected to give results. That is fine. But what I want to see is if there is something like this is dependent on dasha, or this is a lifelong thing. The thing is, such a thing has to be shown in the Shashtihayani dasha also. It is not that Vimshottari dasha is about mind and Shashtihayani is about something else, because all those are nakshatra dasha. Shashtihayani, Chaturthi, Dasaptasama, Vimshottari, Ashtotri, Kalachakra, all the dashas are dependent on moon only. Moon's nakshatra basically, not even moon's Navamsha. Of course, Kalachakra also I said, forget it, Kalachakra is dependent on moon Navamsha. But all these Vimshottari, Ashtotri, Yogini, Dasaptasama dasha, Chaturthi Samadasha, Shashtihayani dasha, these are all based on nakshatra of moon. So they are all based on the mind and the weakness of the mind, the strength of the mind, the phase of the mind, how the mind is thinking, how various gods are influencing the mind, various nakshatras. So this is about mind only. So Shashtihayani also should show, it is a dasha dependent result. But the thing is, it started in Rahu dasha and is continuing in the Jupiter dasha also. So this is something that is triggered either by Saturn or Rahu, but this is probably a lifelong kind of thing. That is my conclusion based on all the factors that I know so far. This is a lifelong thing. This is something in the chart itself. So forget that. Now see what are the weaknesses in the natal Trimshamsha.
During the natal Rashi, if you see, Lagna Lord is so the Lagna Lord in 7th house.
Both the
Lagna Lord 7th house.
yeah.
And of course, obviously, cases are there in the Rahu Ketu aspect.
Yeah.
But Lagna Lord being in 12th house itself is going to be physically is going to give some.
Is it Lagna Lord in the 12th along with the 12th Lord? Is it good for health?
It is not.
While 8th Lord is in Lagna.
Huh?
While 8th Lord Mercury is in Lagna. 8th Lord is in Lagna, Lagna Lord is in the 12th. One Dusthana Lord is in Lagna, and Lagna Lords, both of them are in another Dusthana. So it shows some problem for the health. But on the positive side, if Lagna Lord is in the 12th house with Ketu, the Moksha Karaka, and with the 12th Lord, the Lord of the house showing Moksha, does it also show somebody deeply spiritual? So, without looking at Vinshamsa and other charts, just looking at the Rashi, can you say so far that this is the chart of somebody deeply spiritual with a high level of detachment? Of course, he is a child, so it won't be visible now. But as he progresses, as he becomes older, you should expect there must be a high level of spirituality as well as detachment. There are very strong indications for that. Right? Everybody agree? Okay. So that is one thing. So that actually brings into question the Vinshamsa also. Eventually we have to look at Vinshamsa also to see the spiritual experience of the person. That is also very interesting, because this is the chart of somebody who will have very deep spiritual experiences, at least later in life.
Added to that, moon is very.
And 8th Lord is in Lagna.
8th Lord is in Lagna and moon is very well disposed.
Moon is?
Moon is 9th Lord in the 6th house.
Yeah.
Very well disposed.
The 9th Lord of Dharma, he is in the 5th house of mantra, and 5th Lord Jupiter is aspecting him. So the aspect of the 5th Lord and 9th Lord is basically, it's a nice yoga. It is good for dharma. So some people with a strong 12th house, they have a high level of detachment, but they are not very dharmic, they are not religious. They are spiritual, but they are not that religious. But here there are strong combinations for both religiousness in the orthodox sense as well as spirituality in the sense of understanding what actually things stand for. Because if somebody understands what different rituals actually mean, a ritual may even lose meaning. There is no point in doing a ritual, because its idea is to remind you of something, some higher truth. And if you are already aware of the truth as well as truths that are even higher, there is no point in actually going through the chore of doing the ritual. So for people who are spiritually elevated, the religiousness sometimes loses its meaning. But here there are combinations involving both the 9th house as well as 8th and 12th houses. So this will be something. Pardon me? Saturn is in the 9th house. Saturn, who shows conservative, traditional, orthodox kind of thinking, he is in the 9th house of Dharma. So he will be highly dharmic. At the same time, he will have a high level of detachment from all things that are external. And of course, Dharma is an external thing. Dharma and rituals are external. So he will engage in all those, but with a sense of detachment from all those things. So let us go to, let us see Trimsamsa first, because we are dealing with the health problem, because that is also there in the Rashi chart. Even though this is a chart of somebody highly spiritual, the health is actually not really perfect. Maybe the actual dasha that will cause health problems perhaps hasn't even started. The health can be a cause of concern in future. So let us look at the Trimsamsa. How is Trimsamsa? What is the main Achilles heel in the Trimsamsa? Does Trimsamsa actually show some problems for the person? Some suffering for the person? Absolutely. So Lagna, you first look at Lagna. How is Lagna Lord? How is Lagna? So Lagna Lord, wherever he is, actually he is not bad. Both the Lagna Lords are in friendly houses. So that is a saving grace. But how is Lagna? It is occupied by Mandi as well as Mandi maybe or may not be accurate. Let us forget him. But Mercury is there. The 8th Lord, the functional male fifth. He is not only the 8th Lord in Trimsamsa, he is the 8th Lord in Rashi chart of physical existence also. So he is the one who is hell-bent on giving him suffering. So that planet, he afflicts the Lagna in Trimsamsa. So health is unlikely to be perfect. And especially when Mercury gets control over the person. That is based on Vinchotri, that will happen from 2022 to 2039. So that is a period when he has to be a little careful, 2022 to 2039. Okay?
Also,
Yeah.
Saturn moon combination.
Yeah. Saturn Moon combination is in the 7th house, and Moon happens to be Badhaka. Right. But the thing is, more than Badhasthana is also important, but 8th and 6th houses are even more important. And if you look at 6th house, you don't really see anything funky going on there. Venus is there, but nothing too bad. So 6th house doesn't show anything too bad, but 8th house, 8th lord is in Lagna, and Badhasthana, lord is affecting Lagna. He is exalted. Exaltation of Badhakesha is, he should not be exalted. He is very happy. When the person who has to give you Badha, if he is happy, that means he is getting opportunity to give you sadness. And moreover, he is Saturn, the planet of sadness and depression. So actually, in the charts of some people that I have seen with Moon in Saturn, Moon is affected by Saturn in Trimshamsa, typically they are vulnerable to be being depressed. Even though the Rashi chart has Sun in Lagna, it's a fiery sign, the person is very fiery. There is a lot of fire in the person because Sun is in Lagna, a fiery planet, and sign itself is owned by Mars, a highly fiery planet.
But it's a combination of that along with, but it's a watery sign.
It's a watery sign, but it's a watery sign owned by Mars. So what it means is
confusion there because it's a fire as well as water. Had it been nature, then you would be.
But the thing is, it's a sign of, don't look at fire as just physical fire. Basically, it's a sign of resolve, a sign of strong determination. So it is, you can say, even though Cancer and Pisces are also watery signs, Scorpio is water owned by a fiery planet. So you can think of it as ice basically. It's very strong basically. So people with Scorpio Lagna typically they have a strong determination. If they want to do something, they will do it. So that I was using the word fire in my vocabulary, but what I really mean is the resolve, the strength of mind. And Sun is in Lagna, usually fairy planets give it. Sun and Mars give that kind of determination. And because Mars owns the Lagna and Sun is in Lagna, there is a lot of inherent fire in the person. And at the same time, because this is not Aries or Leo, it doesn't show up like that sometimes. Aries and Leo are apparently fiery, but Scorpio, there is internal fire, but it looks very cool, but actually it's not cool. It's actually very, very hot inside. So the person has a strong determination, but he may seem like he is lying low at times, but actually the person is thinking about what he wants to do. And actually there may be some secretiveness also. Typically people with a strong Scorpio, if Scorpio is Lagna or if it is a strong sign in the chart, they are secretive, like they have split personality. They have two personalities. They seem like one thing, they seem very casual, cool about things, but actually they are not. They are thinking behind the, under the surface, they are wondering how to get what they want to get done. They can't leave things. When they want to do something, it has to be done. Anyway, coming back to the point, so there is a lot of fire in the person, but at the same time, the combination of Saturn with Moon in the Trimshamsa, especially Moon being the Bhadaka Lord, has to give some bouts of depression in some periods in life of the person. There will be periods when the person will be extremely sad, the person will be depressed about something. So there is a chance of depression. There is a chance of even getting clinical depression when the right dasha comes. You say, but it will not be something that will destroy the person, absolutely. Even though he is Bhadaka Lord, he is also the 9th Lord of protection. So he will be protected. So he will have some vulnerability for depression. For all you know, that depression may even be something like, I'm not able to see God. I mean, that happened to some people. Some great saints were very depressed because they were not able to see God. They were depressed for several years in a row, and eventually their sadhana fructified. So it can be something of that sort also, because Moon happens to be the 9th Lord in the Rashi chart, in the 5th house of mantra. So it can be something religious also. There can be a religious angle to the depression, but at some point of time in his life, he will be unhappy. Now, are there any physical problems like nerve problems, mental problems, etc.? What are the influences on Moon? See, Moon, suddenly mind becoming agitated. This shivering that is described, it can come because he suddenly shocked. Not consciously, he may not know, but subconsciously he is shocked because he is reminded of something. somebody killed him very violently in the last life, and that kind of experience is triggering again subconsciously, and he shivers. That basically manifests in the physical level. That is a possibility.
So they
But
actually Rahu Ketu, Rahu influence.
yes, that has to show some kind of Rahu Ketu kind of influence, some shock from the previous life manifesting. So in the Trimshamsa, which shows the subconscious vulnerability of the person based on the previous experiences and previous sins, etc. Do you see any Rahu influence on moon?
Rahu is Argala on
Well, Rahu has Argala, that's it. A strong Rahu, but he is in the 4th house. He is not a troublemaker. Is Rahu a troublemaker in this chart? He is the 4th lord of Sukha in the own house with Lagna lord, a good friend. He is not a troublemaker. He is a natural troublemaker, but not in this chart. So, a non-troublemaker Argala is not really so problematic. So, we don't really see any sudden shock having a deep scar on the person's mind, consciousness. That we don't see, right? Or it can be some anger, some detail. It's not a shock that is inbuilt in the mind, but there can be an anger. The person can have a lot of anger from the previous life that is accumulated. So if that anger is subconsciously manifesting suddenly, it is getting released suddenly, that anger can also give a shivering. Too much of fire can also give a shivering. Do you see anything like that? Is there any Martian influence on moon? Not really. Mars and Ketu give the kind of anger, the kind of inbuilt frustration or anger, inbuilt fire, which is getting released now and then. Do you see like anything like that, Parmi?
They are both Lagna, but it's not their sign.
They are both Lagna lord. They don't really have an influence on moon. Ketu has an Agala. Mars doesn't even have any kind of influence on moon, on mind. Of course, he has an influence on Lagna. Apart from moon, you can see the influence on Lagna itself. You see the subconscious self, the vulnerability of the subconscious self. But again, Mars doesn't harm Lagna. He is Lagna lord. Ketu doesn't harm Lagna. He is Lagna lord. Well, but he is the Lagna lord in the Rashi chart also. If he is Lagna lord in the Rashi chart also, he is not likely to give a problem in that relating to that particular thing. So my take is, her point is, well, the Lagna lord shows the Papa Purusha. Lagna lord in D30 is the Papa Purusha. So she is saying Mars and Ketu are actually showing the Papa Purusha. But the thing is, they are also the Lagna lord in the Rashi chart. So they don't really have an agenda to cause problem for the person. They may have an agenda to shape the Papa Purusha of the person, but that is unlikely to cause some physical discomfort for the person. So we don't really see any such indication. Now there is another problem, another possibility. Forget all this subconscious, mind, etc. all that. Physically, what if there is a nervous problem? It can be a nervous problem, a nervous debilitation. There can be a nervous debility. One particular nerve may be too close to something, some base or something. I don't know all the technology, but when it rubs, suddenly a lot of electricity may flow and the person may shiver. Pardon me? Who is the significance of nerves? Do you guys, let me see if you remember the basics. All the tissues. Pardon? Let's see. Who shows skin then? Skin tissue is shown by me. Who shows nerves? Who shows, let us revise. Who shows blood? The blood tissue. Huh? Okay, venous, let us say. Who shows semen then? The reproductive tissue. That is venous. Then who is blood? Moon. Moon is blood. So who is fat? Fat in your body? Jupiter. And who is the muscle? Saturn, because muscle is the hard work and Saturn is the hard worker. So Saturn is muscle. And who shows the bones? Sun shows the bones. And who shows Venus, Saturn? The depletion of all these tissues. Rahu and Ketu. They don't show any particular tissue, but they show eating away all these tissues, so that you forget your body and get moksha. Then who is left? Mars. So what is Mars? Nerve. Nerve tissue. Surgery, we are talking about tissues now. Not, of course it shows surgery, but here we are talking about the 7 tissue, Sapta Dhatu. So the pardon? Yeah. That's a very good point. We will come to that. First I am at the level of tissue itself. So is there any problem in the nerve tissue, physical nerve tissue? Well, we don't really see anything relating to mass, any weakness of the mass. But if you look at the Rashi chart, now it's not just the Trimcham chart. If you look at there are actually two things. To see depletion of a particular tissue, particular tattva, what we do is we look at the tattva. We see in the Trimchamsha, we see whether Bhutattva or Agni Tattva or Jatattva is having problem. So any bad combination in the Trimchamsha, like Rahu Ketu or 8th Lord or things like that, see whether they are in whether they are in a fiery sign or watery sign, etc. If they are in a fiery sign, there is some problem relating to fire element. And the nerves, if there is a disturbance in the fire element, it can be a nervous problem. So any nervous problem has to be fiery. Whereas if there is a problem in the bone, bones are misformed or something, bone is what tattva? So bone is Bhutattva. So it is a mercury sign. If there is an affliction in mercury sign, there is a bone problem in Trimchamsha. If there is an affliction in the moon sign, Venus sign, it is Jatattva. Jatattva is, there can be blood ailments, there can be mental stability. Mental stability is also watery in nature, the stability of the mind. So any affliction in Venus sign can be the stability of the mind. The mind can suddenly become unstable. What basically keeps the person stable and harmonious? That harmony is basically taken away at times, because certain hormones are not working fine. Certain hormonal imbalance that is basically a Jatattva imbalance that can cause mind becoming crazy at times. So here, what are the tattvas that are really being affected? Rahu and Ketu, we usually say they are the main affectors, but here he is in one sign. I won't really count them as the afflictors here. The real afflictor to me is the Bharakesha moon with Saturn and the 8th Lord Mercury killing the Lagna. So 8th Lord Mercury in Lagna, he is in what sign? Fiery sign. So the fire element in the body can have some disturbance. There are certain subconscious problems from the previous life which are resulting in the fire element being disturbed, agitated. So that is one thing, right? Affecting a planet. Well, when we are talking about planet, we are just doing regular analysis of the chart. But when you are talking about a sign, to see which dhatu is vulnerable, we look at the sign, because all these dhatus are inanimate, whereas the thinking that is going on is basically an animate thing. So when you are talking about the physical dhatus that are making up this gross body, we are talking about the sign rather than planet. So here, Aries and Scorpio are the problematic. Out of Aries and Scorpio has 8th Lord Mercury. That too, he is badly affecting Lagna. So that makes it, and Mandi is also there. So the fiery element is having problem. So what can we say? There can be some nervous problem. And now let us come to your point. Though Mars is the Karaka for the nerve tissue, we say that Mercury afflicted by Rahu and Ketu gives nervous problem, makes the person very nervous. Why? Even though Mars is the Karaka for the nerve, it is Mercury who is the Karaka for the communication in the nerves, the flow of the energy in the nerves.
Now that it is Mercury who is causing the condition.
Right. Here it is Mercury. So we'll come back to that, but I'm jumping back to her point. So it is like the electricity wire or the telegraph wire is actually shown by Mars. Mars shows all these wires. But who shows the message that is being transferred in it? The communication of messages in it? Mercury is the communicator. Mercury is the Karaka for communication. So the medium itself is Mars, but the communication is Mercury. Yes. The nervous system is not really that bad, but when it comes to the flow of energy in the nervous system, the regulation of the energy, how energy is flowing through the nervous system, some regulation somewhere is somewhat broken or has some deficiency as shown by Mercury. Okay, so this is not like the tissue itself is misformed. Like nervous tissue has, some people, I have seen some charts where Mars is badly affected in Trichamsa and the person has nervous pain. The person gets pain, and there the nervous system is too dry. The liquid that is supposed to be in the nerve, that liquid is, that majja is very light. It is not enough. So because of the dryness, when electricity flows through them, there is some pain basically. It's not natural. There is an unnatural problem. The infrastructure problem. So Mars afflicted means infrastructure problem. Mercury afflicted means the use of that infrastructure, the use of the nervous system. So who controls the use of the nervous system? Mercury, but physically. It is basically the brain. So there is some deficiency somewhere in the brain which is resulting in imbalance of the nervous current at some points of time, which can cause what he is seeing. So that is one diagnosis. That is a definite possibility. And who should he propitiate if he wants relief from that problem? Who is the best god or planet? First let us see the planet, then go to God. Who is the planet? Absolutely. Mercury is the problem. In Rasi as well as Trimshamsa, the 8th Lord beating down Lagna. He is the planet causing this particular problem, as well as he can cause several other problems in the chart. 8th Lord in Lagna can cause lot of falls in life or lot of ups and downs in the life. So if he propitiates Mercury, it will actually keep his whole life smooth, apart from this particular problem. So Mercury is the planet to propitiate. Okay? And which god for Mercury? Vishnu. So Vishnu Sahasram, you named him Vishnu, so that is very interesting. But you are all saying his name, he is not saying his name.
That was suggested by
Madhubaba, right? The other astrologer, yeah. Very good. That's a very good name for him. So he needs the blessings of Vishnu. That will keep him in good stead in life. And can you suggest any specific avatara instead of just Vishnu? See, the thing is, as far as Rasi is concerned, why Matsya?
Because he is in sign of Ketu.
It's a sign of Mars also. He is with sun, so it can be Sri Rama, that is one possibility. Another possibility is, instead of just propitiating Sun and Mercury who are in Lagna, you can also propitiate Mars at the same time. Mars is the Lagna Lord, right? Mars is the Lagna Lord and he is in the 12th house. So as we said earlier, that can also give health problems, right? Mars can also give health problems. Mars and Ketu combination can also give health problems. So if you propitiate an avatara of Vishnu, Mercury will be happy. At the same time, if the avatara corresponds to Mars, Mars is also control. So from that point of view, who's the planet? Who's the god? Narsimha. And also Narsimha is Ugra. So he has energy to keep Rahu Ketu. I mean, you were saying for Ketu you can suggest Matsya Avatara. You can do that also. But then my gut feeling is, if you propitiate Matsya Avatar in this particular case, what will happen is, spirituality will go up. Matsya Avatar is a very sattvic avatar. It is the avatar of Vedodharana. So Vedas being propagated. Then the 8th Lord being in Lagna, you are propitiating him. The Lagna Lord in 12th house with Ketu, Mokshaka, you are propitiating him. So he will take the person more towards Moksha. So any pains he feels in the body as he grows up, he may become more tolerant of that, and he may become more spiritual. I am not saying we should not suggest that. That is also fine. But what I am saying is, different propitiations, they may take the person slightly in different directions. But eventually the goal is the same. The goal is moksha only. But the exact path is different. In one case, you are alleviating your physical suffering and making progress in a different path. In the other case, you are suffering and making progress. But then if you put the person in this path, he may go half the way and then say, oh my God, I can't take this suffering, man. And then something else may happen. He may start taking a lot of medicines, a lot of prescription medicines. They may create toxins in the body, and that may actually take away the spirituality of the person. The person may be hospitalized, because Lagna Lord in 12th house can also be hospitalization, it's of spirituality. So the person may be hospitalized. So the thing is, the chart only shows the basic.
Mars is still the Lagna Lord in 12th house.
Yes.
Passing Ketu.
Right. So what I am saying is, Lagna Lord in the 12th house with Ketu, it can make the person always hospitalized. So if we say, if the person is on crossroads, let us say, when the free will has a chance of putting him on this path or this path, in both the paths, the planets will give their result, but slightly differently, because each planet doesn't give only one result. There are umpteen possibilities. So depending on the decisions that you make at important crossroads in life, things take different turns. So what I am saying is, if you suggest Matsya for this person, it may be good. The person may become, may make more progress spiritually. On the other hand, it may also so happen that the person may give up on the way, may make some progress and may not be able to take the pain. The pain may grow as he grows.
Happen with Narasimha also, because Mars is still the
Yeah,
Lagna Lord in 12th house.
yeah.
So Rama is the better choice.
Why, no, 1 second. If you are propitiating him, he will reduce the negative results of Mars being in the 12th house. If the Lagna Lord is in the 12th house and you are propitiating him, this is propitiation. So what happens is, the suffering because of Lagna Lord being in the 12th house, the need to hospitalize, the need to suffer, the need to compromise the physical health, that will come down. So the person may become more healthy as a result of it.
I got confused.
Yeah, Ketu is Moksha Karaka and Mars is the physical vitality Karaka, the significance of the vitality. So you are propitiating him, so you are actually putting the person more in line of taking care of the vitality. And when you are guiding somebody who is really in the formative stages of the spiritual as well as material life, that is actually a wiser course. So I would suggest Narasimha. Oh yeah, he is afflicted by Ketu. Absolutely. Yeah, he is afflicted by Ketu. That is absolutely true. They are not friends. Even though they co-own a sign, both of them own Scorpio together, they are not happy. It is like enemy. It is like enemies being in the same place and sharing it. Okay, we will both have it. So as pardon? It's not the same with Saturn and Doctor. They are bottom friends. Right.
And another thing is, when it comes to renewal things,
Yeah.
you said Narasimha Rama here. This being a small saving,
No.
I always like to put the photograph very conscious in the house,
Mm-hmm.
so that the child gets used to that image and that name and image, and
Now image has a lot of value too.
so
That image, if is imbibed in the mind, even without mantra, that image, if he is thinking of it, it produces certain energy in the body. You can do that. But if he is capable of chanting, a simple Narasimha mantra can also be chanted. A simple thing, Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. A 12-letter mantra. No, not now. Maybe in a few years, couple of years. Or Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu. That is a very powerful mantra. Do you know it? Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jvalantam Sarvato Mukham Nrusimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityu Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jvalantam Sarvato Mukham. Nrusimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityu Namamyaham. Nrusimham Bhishanam Bhadram. Got that? Mrityu Namamyaham. Mrityu ki Mrityu. Mrityu to Mrityu. Death to death. Mrityu. There is another variation, Mrityu or Mrityu, but Mrityu means better, it's more authentic. Both are meaningful. Namamyaham. Mrityu Namamyaham. It's called Mantraj Pada Mantram. a very powerful mantra. This was revealed by Shiva to Parvati. This is a very powerful mantra. Yeah, you can think of him and you can say. But when he starts doing for himself, it will be more fruitful. But until then, you can do for him. And when he is older, you can teach him. How old is he? 3 years? Just 3, turn 3. So maybe another 2-3 years.
You can play a small record like this at home.
Yeah. I mean, depends on how good he is in memorizing things.
He is actually, if he listens to Lalita Sahasram, he will start talking with that.
Yeah, then you can teach also. Because my sister-in-law's daughter, she is only 4 years old. When she was 3.5, she started learning. She can read Aditya Hridayam, she can read that Ramanama Stotram, that Ramayana, Nama Ramayanam. She can do lot of things, lot of Veda mantras, Yamaka Vijamahe, Gananamsa. She has like a big list of mantras she can recite when she was just 3.5, 4. So some people can read fast. If he is following Lalita Sahasram, you can just teach him even now or maybe another half year.
But he is
Actually, Mantrapada has Jupiter here. You can see the A5 is in Dhanus, right? Mantrapada right now is being translated by Jupiter. He came there just recently, just a few years back. So this is a good time to get mantra. So one mantra actually already came to him. So within this year, before next November itself, I suggest teaching it to him. Even if he can't memorize, he makes mistakes, it's okay. Gods are very considerate. When you make mistake, they don't tolerate. But when he makes mistakes, they will tolerate.
But one thing we should keep in mind is not leave Upanishad in Mercury throughout the life.
Yeah, this is a lifelong thing. This is not just this year or next year.
It's very problematic in this case, being in the Asika.
Yeah.
I think he should, for marital life, rest of life, I think he should propitiate.
Marital life we haven't seen. Unless you see Navamsa, you don't know anything about it.
But even with Rasi, from the fact that he was
He shows all kinds of troubles in life. Mercury shows all kinds of ups and downs. It doesn't show a smooth life. It shows a life full of ups and downs. So, worshipping some avatar of Vishnu, especially Narasimha, it can cause the life to be relatively smooth. Thing is, using our free will, there is some leeway, but we can't change it fully because the karma, the kind of karmas that are there, they basically limit the free will to a certain range. So within that range we can adjust the result. Instead of here it can be here. But the basic suffering, some suffering will be there for him. But if he worships Narasimha from a young age, it will be much ups and downs. Sorry? Disappointment, not getting things he wants to get, some physical health problems also.
He gets upset really quickly.
Yeah.
things in their own way.
Now, we'll see the spirituality angle, because based on Rasi must be very spiritual. We'll see the Nishamsa. But before we do that, can you guys see the Ekshadata for me?
I always get it out. When we see and suggest something like this, we look at it from one angle. Whether from Rasi or a particular angle from Vedanta or whatever. But and then say, okay, for this particular thing we are narrowing down to that isolated case. But that propitiation maybe bad in some other Vargachetra and something else too.
No propitiation is bad, let me say that.
But in general,
Rings may be bad. You may be looking at Rasi and you may be wearing a ring, and it may be good for in general for life, for marriage, but it may be bad in career. In the sense of the planet may be terrible. So such things may happen with things like gems. Because gem, if you wear the gem of a planet, if it is a good planet in a particular area of life, it will increase the good results in that area of life. If it is a bad planet in one particular area of life, it will increase the bad results in that particular area of life. Period.
so that can happen with not with
But propitiation,
yeah.
if it is a good planet, the good will increase. If it is a bad planet, the bad will decrease. So propitiation is always there. Sattvic, actually it's not just propitiation. The thing is, it is Sattvic versus Rajasic versus Tamasic. If it is Sattvic or Rajasic, even if you do for a bad planet for you, it is fine. It will give only good results. Whereas if you are doing something tamasic, a tamasic remedy, a tamasic upaya, then if it is a bad planet, it will actually make it worse. Like ring is a tamasic remedy, not a. Suppose you are doing black magic to kill somebody, etc. Then it's not always good. It can be good or bad. It can result in your enemy disappearing if the planet is conducive to you, or it may even be a problem for you. It may even kill you. But simple propitiations, Rajasic propitiations like I want my health to be good. This is a Rajasic propitiation. Satviki, I don't know even what I want. I'll just pray to you because it's so nice praying to you. I'll just pray to you. That is Satvik. Rajasic is God, I want promotion. This really matters a lot because otherwise my life is screwed. Or there is some problem. We are happening in my company, I may lose my job. Please keep my job. Otherwise my wife and children will be on the road. That is a Rajasic worship, and that is fine. You can worship any planet, good or bad. Pardon me? But I want to say one thing here, one related thought. Thing is, even though the same God may be willing to give various results. For example, in Navamsa, a particular planet may show fights with the wife. In Dashamsa, the planet may show promotion. So if you are praying to a God shown by that planet, he can either reduce your fight with the wife, or he can increase your promotion. He can give you a promotion material. He can give multiple results. There are so many areas of life given by all these thoughts. So he can give any of those results, or in different degrees he can mix various results. But the thing is, if you are asking for something, when you do something, you have some sankalpa. So gods do take the sankalpa into mind when they give the result. That is why it is good to do dhamma prakama moksha chaturveda purushadha siddhana kshema sthairya abhaya ayurarogya aishwarya. You can ask for everything, but at least in your mind you should be clear about what you are praying for. Of course, like I said, if you don't ask for anything, that is also fine. Just leave everything complete to God. Whatever path He wants you to take, you take that path. You don't care about the speed of the progress, spiritual progress, anything or material progress. You don't care. You just leave everything to God. Submit completely. That is very difficult. Very few people are like that. But if you can do that, that is the best. Because then you are in the best hand. Otherwise, you are trying to manipulate your destiny yourself. So you have a pilot who is very experienced in driving the flight, but you are giving him direction. Can you go like this? Of course, he may not listen to you. If there is a pilot and you are sitting in the cockpit next to him and say, "Can you take a right here?" He may say, "No, that won't work. I can't do it." So sometimes the pilot may not listen, but sometimes he may listen, and as a result, you may be going the less efficient way. Just like that with God. If you ask God, "Can you give this? Can you give this promotion?" and pray, depending on how much you pray and how happy He is, depending on the karmas from the past, He may actually listen to you. So the thing is, why do we pick a specific God based on the chart? One God is more likely to listen to you than another God in a particular area of life. When it comes to, let's say, marriage, one particular God may be more willing to listen to you. When it comes to career, another God may be more willing to listen to you. That is why only when you are doing Rajasic worship, all this astrology is useful to decide the right person, so that you can go and ask them, they will listen to you easily, relatively easily. Okay, who is this Ishtadevata? I am just curious. When somebody young comes to you, it is a good idea to, oh my God, the 8th Lord who is in Lagna, Mercury, he happens to be Atmakaraka, the basic soul of the person. What does it mean? There is a deep reason at the soul level for all these sufferings. So those are actually, when Atmakaraka is involved in a physical suffering, it is actually quite difficult to get it out. His soul wants that suffering for whatever reason. It is basically, it is one of the vasanas coming from the soul. So it is actually quite difficult. So he must do Narasimha. He must do Narasimha, some Vishnu Avatara. That is definitely, without it he will run into some problems later. And now, who is the Ishtadevata? Where is Mercury in? Oh God, that's good. I don't know why I wanted to see the Ishtadevata, but now I know. See, based on the Rasi, I said that the person is basically spiritual, right? Look at Navamsa. Can you say that the person is spiritual from Navamsa also? The 12th from the Atmakaraka shows the God who will give you moksha. Who is there? Of course, nobody is there, but Lagna is there.
People who have Lagna in the 12th from Atmakarka in Navamsa, they are inherently spiritual. It is like their own self is their own Ishtadevata. Self itself is God. Such people are inherently spiritual. Right? So that combination is there. Pardon me? Well, where Atmakarka is from Lagna is of no use. But where Lagna is from Atmakarka is of use. Lagna is your body and your overall existence. Yeah, even in Rasi. Rasi as well as Navamsa. Now,
you only take it for those two days.
yeah.
So he's more like doing suppose the meditation kind of things than doing rituals or puja.
No, I am not saying that. But what I am saying is he is a highly spiritual person. So both the Rasi and Navamsa tell us that he is a highly spiritual person. So we must look at D20 also. That is the real chart of Upasana chart. So how is his spiritual progress? Is it?
Why don't we see Drigdasha directly?
Drigdasha is only for timing. We can say when is a really good time for him. We will do that also. But if the time is 1 minute 7 seconds earlier, the time given, then the Vimshams Lagna will change. So do we know that this is accurate time?
Yeah.
How do you know?
I mean, I was there.
You were there, so you had a calibrated watch?
Not calibrated. I had.
I mean, the watch was, it can be.
Time at least compared to regular place.
Did you tune the time before you went into the hospital with some other standard time or whatever was? Because this can be sometimes 1 minute, 2 minutes easily wrong,
Yeah.
right? So you can't say it's accurate.
No, but if you
And what is the time you noted? Is it the first cry or what is the definition you use?
He came out when I saw him total.
When you saw him total,
that means the card is cut.
was the card cut by then?
No.
He still had the card, but you saw him outside. Now, did he cry by then or did he cry after that?
Actually, he cried after when he was cut. Then
Okay.
I have to revisit the tape that I actually recorded the whole.
Okay.
But then, since he cried after and it's only 5 minutes later is when it's changing, so reasonably maybe
Let us assume for now that this is accurate. Let us assume that the time is accurate, but still his watch can be wrong. Also see, this is a nice round figure, 8:30. So it's almost as though he basically waited for the next 5 minutes, basically rounded. So it shows that,
there is a
it
small
suggests that not enough care was taken.
Enough caring.
Noting the having an accurate watch, and for example, before my child's birth, I basically made sure that my clock was accurate up to a second or couple of seconds, using an atomic clock.
No, you could do that, but in most cases people should just
And I noted down when the head showed up first, what was the time, because I was in the room, and when all the things, basically seeing off the head, Shirodarsana, then Bhupatana,
Actually,
coming out fully, then cutting off the card, crying. I noted down all the definitions. This is at 9:28:41. For each I looked at the second, so I noted down so that I can see later which is working better.
I was actually reciting the at that time. I was not.
Okay. So when this person was born, Purushottam was being recited. I see. Very good. Right. That's what I was going to suggest. So, do you have a Kuladevata, like a family deity? I mean, everybody has actually. When you say nothing like that, you mean you don't know.
I don't know.
Because your family must have. These days, families don't worship God. But in the old days, like a few generations back, 2-3 generations back, there must be some God that the family worships. Not worshipping meaning it doesn't have to be an elaborate ritual, but some God that you think of before you important task, some God that you keep a photo of in the house, in the family. You know, Gramadevata, actually, Gramadevata for this person would be that will be tough.
Where is the Gram Devata? What is it?
Yeah. Gramadevata will be basically for the town that these guys live in Nashua. We don't. It's tough. It's tough to know here. Whereas in Indian cities, there will be a clearly defined Gramadevata for each grama. So here is we don't really know. So that can't help.
Whenever we sneeze, they ask for the Gramadevata.
Okay. So the thing is, we don't really know. Unfortunately, Vimshamsa we can't really see. So, what that means is, I don't want to, 1 minute is too close. I don't want to jump to a conclusion that this is right. This may or may not be right. So, as far as the spiritual life is concerned, I can't really have any clear insights. I don't know exactly.
Surely, definitely he is spiritual.
He is spiritual. That I can say based on Rashi and Navamsa.
After this time or
Pardon me?
before this?
You can tell.
Before this.
You can tell from moon. But still,
Before the same thing.
moon is debilitated. That is good. Either in the 7th house or in the 8th house. Right.
Correct. Maybe in future after some event we can. Is there anything that we can rectify? Is there any physical defect on the body? Or is there any specific thing that we can say? Or is there any small operation or anything?
No, he was attacked by dogs, right?
Oh, when?
Use that instance that is on 5th.
But it may not be able to help us rectify the D20. Oh, D Nakshatra we have. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
It was on
When was he attacked by a dog?
5th you had the group relation, right?
It was on the Saturday.
With that.
By a dog on when? When?
On the Monday.
Lantane ఉంటుంది.
When?
ఇది chart అయితే ఒక ముహూర్తం. సుబ్రహ్మణ్య ముహూర్తం something.
Attacked. Oh, that's okay. I will not open. Attacked by a dog on recently.
On June.
Oh, June.
June 7th అనుకుంటాను.
Okay. The date I don't care. June, sometime in June. Early June.
Yeah, early June. Last week? Not last week.
Early June 2007. Oh, neighbor's dog you said. Right. I remember now. So what is the... Let us see the Tithi Pravesh chart. The previous year's Tithi Pravesh chart. Just out of curiosity. See if it lines up or not. And who knows if we get lucky. Okay. So this is the previous year's chart.
It's a physical incident, right? Why don't we see on D6 rather than D30?
Yeah, we can see Rasi, Trimshamsa as well as D30. Yeah, we can look at D6. We will look at D6 also. One sec.
D6 will be more accurate than D30, right?
Yes. But the thing is, every physical suffering that is coming because at the deepest level, at the subconscious level, you have a vulnerability. If you are not vulnerable at a particular point of time, subconsciously, nothing in the physical world can do anything to you. And you have that vulnerability because of a sin that you have done in the past life. That is why D30 is the chart of your vulnerabilities as well as your sins. So, even though this is a physical event, D30 is the root cause of what is happening. It doesn't physically show what is the event. That you have to see from D6. Okay. So, when did it happen? Rahu Dasha. Rahu Dasha, the event happened. Can some problem be shown by Rahu? First, does Rahu show some suffering, some problem in D30? Quickly look at D30 and tell me.
Here Rahu is afflicting the 8th lord.
Afflicting?
He is afflicting the Lagna lord as well as the 8th lord in Rasi.
Yeah, Lagna Lord of D30 who happens to be the 8th Lord of Rasi. Back or forward? No. Oh. Reverse is? You are using D60 base? We can look at Shashtamsa like Trimshamsa. No, it doesn't change either way. I don't know why. Because it is 38 seconds. So 38 seconds earlier it will change. 38 arc minutes earlier it will change. Anyway, we'll... Okay, so... He is afflicting Lagna Lord, right? And this Lagna Lord of D30, which was the Papa Purusha, he happens to be the 8th Lord of the Rasi chart. So there is some suffering, right? Now look at D6. Again, Rahu is afflicting Lagna Lord Ketu. I mean, not afflicting, he is with Lagna Lord Ketu. In the Shashtamsa, Rahu is with 8th Lord Mercury as well as Ketu.
But was it his period running at the time there?
Yeah, that is why we were focusing on Rahu. Rahu period was running. From May 31 till July 9, which is when the event happened, it was Rahu. So it is Rahu who basically gave the result. Let us go back to the natal chart. No, I can't say it's a dark body. Rahu can be some suffering, physical suffering. Rahu can show wild animals or Rahu can show animals, but the thing is, ideally,
That will be
dog is Saturn. Huh?
There will be a wild guess.
Yeah, Rahu is not really dark. Saturn is in the 6th house in Shashtamsa, showing some problem from animals, but the result wasn't given by Saturn. Because if I go back to the chart, well, Saturn shows dark. Saturn shows Bhairava. Rahu can show cats and some other animals, tigers. 9th July. No. It is on the border of Rahu and Venus. It is very likely that it was Rahu. It must have happened in Rahu. So, well, the Saturn, if you see, Saturn is in the 6th house, in the Shashtamsa. So that can show a dark problem. Why Rahu gave a dark problem, I can't really tell. We have to, but the thing is, Saturn and Rahu are very similar. Rahu sometimes gives Saturn results, and Rahu is the one who is afflicted more here, who is with the 8th Lord, Mercury. So he basically ended up, we can see some physical suffering, some emotional suffering, some suffering we can see based on the charts we have seen. D6, D30, Rasi, not Rasi, but D6 and D30 both we can see some problem. Okay, let us now come back to this. So unfortunately I want to say something about his spiritual life, but I don't have confidence so far that that Dasha is, that Lagna is right. Otherwise we can be more specific about what kind of sadhana he can do, what kind of spiritual path he will be on, etc. So let us reserve it for a later point of time when you are more confident of the time, not just for the sake of being confident, but honestly. Pardon me? When there are some incidents in the life, etc., then we can see. But right now we can conclude that it may have spiritual angle, but apart from the spiritual angle, there may or may not be. We don't know for sure about the spiritual angle to that, but we know that there is some problem with the nerve current flow, in the way nerve currents are happening in the body. That may very well be because of some energy flowing, like you are saying, some mystic energy flow, like Kundalini flow or something. But the thing is, we don't really have a strong basis to draw any conclusion on that. But even if whether that is the case or whether it is something else, the problem is there is some problem with the flow of energy in the nervous system of the person. It may have a physical cause in the brain also.
Basic question in that regard is Kundalini something that gets triggered very early?
It can. There can be a Siddha who is born with Kundalini already awakened also. But the thing is, it is extremely rare because there are a lot of misconceptions about Kundalini. Yeah, some people will, for example, say when Kundalini flows, you will shiver. That is utter nonsense. It's actually very unlikely. If really Kundalini is flowing, you will not. It doesn't really cause any shivering. But the thing is, if Kundalini wanted to flow and it couldn't flow or something like that, there is a big obstacle in the path. Maybe then, but still, shivering is. Kundalini is basically, like I said earlier also, basically your expression of your self-awareness. Kundalini is equivalent to self-awareness, the ego consciousness. What you consider as I is Kundalini. And that is why I say Kundalini, people represent the snake
half coil, 3.5 coil, whatever. That is all symbolic representation. But you should look at, if you are interested in Kundalini, you should look at Kundalini not as some power or energy or some mysticity. Pardon me? Pardon me?
Who am I?
It is basically who am I, or you can look at it as your mother. The mother who has created you. You are basically your Shakti. She is your Shakti. She is the divine mother who has bound you, even though you are just Brahman, everything, the unmanifested. She has bound you in, just like you suppress a spring, she has bound you into this body, and she has given you the sense that I am this body. So that is basically what Kundalini is. So think of Kundalini as, for example, in my case, I worship Mahalakshmi. So for me, Kundalini is identical to Mahalakshmi. So if my Kundalini rises, it is basically Mahalakshmi. If somebody else is actually able to perceive another yogi, he will perceive her as Mahalakshmi only. It is, I look at her only as Mahalakshmi. Somebody like Vimalananda, he perceived his Kundalini as Smashan Tara, period. Smashan Kali, period. For him, Smashan Kali was his Ishtadevata. So your Ishtadevata, or if your Ishtadevata is a male god, his energy, his Shakti. Imagine Kundalini as that Shakti. And that Shakti has taken you from infinite and put you in some finite corner. And then the key to becoming infinite again is to release that Shakti. So that Shakti alone, because that Shakti has suppressed you, that Shakti can make you release you. So as Kundalini rises, basically what happens is your self-awareness becomes more refined. First you think I am this body. You don't even question who am I. You think I am this body. Yeah, obvious. I am this body. Yeah, what is there to doubt? Then when somebody with a Kundalini awakened, with an awakened Kundalini, he will be actually actively questioning who am I. Not just writing down the question like Sriram Koti, writing Kotita many times, but it will be happening in his mind always. And then when that happens, if you make any progress towards finding who you are, all the vain concepts like mine, this is mine, I should hold on to it, will go away, because you know this is not really me. I am just holding on to this concept temporarily. Actually I am not this. So when that really comes, your kama, krodha, lobha, moha, all these weaknesses start disappearing. So the real measure of how much progress one has made in terms of how far Kundalini has gone is actually how much one has overcome all these weaknesses. Because when Kundalini wakes up through any path, through Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, any yoga, it can wake up and rise. People think that Kundalini, this is a very common misconception. They think that Kundalini awakening happens only in people who do certain exercises, certain mudra, certain all these bandhas, Jalandhara bandha, all these special bandhas, or certain pranayamas to trigger it. They all try to trigger, but they are all actually, they may not be the only way. Even somebody who's devoted to Krishna or Shiva, if he thinks Shiva, you are everything, if he gets lost in Shiva, if he forgets his self-identity, then Kundalini will automatically, it will awaken and it will also rise. So the thing is, Kundalini awakening is usually, the first time it happens, it may be very forceful, but it is unlikely to actually cause a shivering in the body. What it causes is, it will cause, you will lose sense of your body, and you will perceive you as being something else, not as the body, as something else. It may be anything. It is closer to the real you. The real you is actually it is all, it is Brahman. But that nobody directly goes there. But the first time Kundalini awakens, what happens is, the first time it awakens, it goes as far as it can, and then it comes down. And after that it goes very slowly, because it has all these impurities in various nadis which have to be cleaned up, which correspond to various bad thoughts in your mind, various conditioning of the mind. Your mind is accustomed to thinking one way. I give a prediction to somebody. He comes and, suppose he comes and tells you, Seshu, your prediction is wrong. Immediately you tend to feel, oh, I did a bad job, or I'm not good. Or if somebody praises you, you feel good. All these things, all these weaknesses of the mind, these are all conditioning that is coming from the mind, which categorizes various things in the world as good and bad. So as all this conditioning drops away, then various nadis become pure. So purification of the nadi is synonymous to your mind dropping off various layers of conditioning, various special senses of good and bad, special concepts of good and bad disappearing from your mind, seeing them for what they are. So the thing is, it is actually bliss. But the thing is, the first time, because it rises through the impurity, it can be a shocking experience, only for the first time. After that, once the Kundalini is awakened, it is unlikely that Kundalini will sleep again. I don't think it's actually possible, theoretically possible. Maybe theoretically it's possible. But then Kundalini will slowly start progressing, and you will start, once you start thinking, I'm not this, and once you have seen who you potentially are, you actually start pursuing that more. And then slowly again you start experiencing what you experienced originally, and may even progress further. So you originally said the shivering is a Kundalini awakening when we met the other day. I don't think this is actually Kundalini rise, because that is an indescribable bliss. Wherever Kundalini goes, even if it goes only one chakra, still you are talking about your awareness going one level. All these chakras are corresponding to Bhuloka, Bhaurloka, Suvarloka, etc. We are only perceiving the Bhuloka right now. So if you are perceiving something else, something higher, it is only a positive experience. It is a bliss. So Kundalini experience is an indescribable bliss only. But before that, various energies, basically various vayus try to flow to clear the way for Kundalini, before Kundalini awakening. Various vayus flow in the various nadis, may flow in the Sushumna, but more likely not in the Sushumna, more likely in the Ida, Pingala, those Chitli or other nadis. So when some vayu flows in that nadi, it also gives some kind of bliss, but it is a lower level bliss, and your awareness is still of the body. You know there is my foot on my thigh, like that. You are aware of your body still. I am hearing this sound. That person, I am trying to do puja. This guy is disturbing me. He is doing this mantra, like that. You are still aware of your physical body fully, but still it is some kind of bliss. So what could be, spiritually speaking, what could be happening is, all these are premonitory signs of Kundalini. Any kind of shivering, or sometimes it can be like a sensation of some ants or some bugs crawling up the spine, basically. That sensation can come, even though there is nothing actually. If you see, there will be nothing, but you can get that sensation. There are so many different sensations that are described in various books, and all those are usually whatever I have seen either on the internet or in books. It is basically the premonitory signs, where just some vayus are exploring various nadis, trying to clean them up. So it may be something like that also. When some vayu goes through some nadi, it corresponds to some nerve current in some nerve. All these energy flow and nadis that we talk about in the mysticism, they are not physical. They are all in the subtle body, Sukshma Sarira. So corresponding to each Sukshma Sarira event, there is a Sthula Sarira event. So in the nervous system, one particular nerve gets a particular signal passing through it. So it may be something like that, some vayu flowing rather than Kundalini. That is a possibility, but I can't draw any conclusion. But looking at the Rashi and Navamsa, my gut feeling is that is a possibility. That may actually be what is happening. But still, the way that is happening, the way his system is trying to do that, his system is not able to take it. So if he worships Narasimha, it will really help him. And Drugdasha you said, so before we wind up for today, I quickly want to see the Drugdasha. We can't be very specific about the spiritual life of this person, except saying that it will be good, he will be highly spiritual and do a lot of dharmic activity. But we can identify some important times in the life of this person. Of course, the first 7 years itself are very important. Why? In the Cancer Dasha, Lagna is Lagna itself. The 12th house has all these 3 planets. So the formative years, the first 7 years itself show promising events in the spiritual growth of this person. Are there any other periods that you want to point out as particularly good or important times? Any point that stands out as a highlight in the later years of this person? How about the one I highlighted, Scorpio Dasha, from 2027 November till 2035 November? Is that an interesting Dasha? What do you think?
Because they're doing the
In Scorpio Dasha, Lagna has Sun and Mercury, right? Right. And where is the progress Lagna? Pisces. So Lagna has Moon. The 5th Lord is in Lagna, which is good for Mantra Sadhana, right? Sun and Mercury are in the 9th house. The seventh lord is in the ninth house. So lot of interaction with Guru. The seventh lord of interactions is in the ninth house. Sun and Guru. So very learned Guru. Very learned, some big very scholar or some learned person, very wise person. Sun and Guru combination shows very wise person. So some wise Guru that he is interacting with. Sun and Mercury combination, sorry, not Sun and Jupiter. And also Jupiter is in the seventh house. So when Lagna Lord is in the seventh house, it shows an extrovert. So during that time, lot of interactions with people relating to spiritual life.
It is Sun and Guru,
Sun and Mercury.
but
That is Buddhaditya Yoga. Yes.
Sun is who is the Guru in this case? Ninth Lord.
Uh,
Sun is the sixth Lord, right?
Yeah. Sun is the sixth
In
lord.
the ninth house.
Sun is the sixth lord in the ninth house. And Mercury is the seventh lord in the ninth house. So sixth house shows a lot of debating, arguments, and seventh house shows a lot of interaction. So those two planets are in the ninth house. So he may be arguing somewhat with Guru, but moreover he will be interacting with the Guru a lot. And Lagna Lord Jupiter is in seventh house. So he is very active in the society, interacting with people. He is not in his hut, some remote corner. He is actually talking to people. He is dealing with a lot of people, relating to spiritual life. But that's not what really interested me in this. Eighth house, yes. Eighth house has Ketu, Mars, and Venus. Eighth Lord himself. And Venus is actually, Venus and Ketu combination can give tapaskarya, big, huge amount of tapaskarya.
But there is no Saturn association.
For me, there is no Saturn association, but that's fine. But he is in a, at least he has a 3/4 aspect on them, right? He has a 3/4 grahadrishti on these guys. Does everybody get it? Usually we miss the fourth aspect of Saturn. So Saturn has fourth and eighth aspect. All planets do, not just Mars. The only thing is it's 3/4. It's not full. So 3/4 aspect of Saturn on the eighth house with tapasya yoga. So it's a 80%, 70% tapasya yoga, not 100%. But that is good enough. That is more than good. As a matter of fact, if you just see any two of those three planets in the eighth house, you can say there will be big tapasya during that time. So and eighth lord in the eighth is extremely good. So that period, in my judgment, is the period when 27 to 35. Those 8 years are the time when the lot of sadhana will happen. The Bhratrakaraka, the Guru. Bhratrakaraka is Jupiter. And Lagna Lord is, ninth Lord is Moon. The ninth Lord is Moon.
No, you are taking from the next from here, is it? You are not taking from progress Lagna?
No. Yeah, I'm looking in the natal chart. If you look at the ninth Lord from Lagna or Jupiter and Bhratrakaraka, these three planets in the natal chart, when they aspect the Dasha sign in Drisdasa, there is a chance of getting the Guru. So if you do that, Moon is one planet, Jupiter is the other planet. They are both aspecting jewel signs, and then Venus, the ninth Lord from Jupiter. But then if you ask me, Jupiter is weak. Lagna is stronger than Jupiter. So maybe jewel signs are the right ones. So if you look at it from that point of view, the time when the right Guru who gives guidance to him comes is very, very late in life. So
the ninth Lord in metal aspecting the Dasha Lord, is it?
Pardon me? Yeah, the ninth Lord from Lagna or Jupiter or Bhratrakaraka in the natal chart, all the three reckoned in the natal chart. If any of them aspect the Dasha sign as per Drisdasa in the natal chart, then during that time a Guru can come who will guide the person. So here Venus, the ninth Lord from Jupiter, even though Jupiter Lagna is weak, the ninth house from Jupiter is stronger than ninth house from Lagna, because its Lord Venus is stronger. If you look at the ninth Lord from Moon and ninth Lord from ninth Lord from Lagna and ninth Lord from Jupiter, the ninth Lord from Jupiter is stronger. So if you take Venus as the one who shows Guru, which you certainly can do, then he aspects Taurus as well as Aquarius. So these two dashas can actually bring a Guru to him. So between 2011 and 2027, he can get a Guru. You can actually look at the entry chart. If you look at the Taurus dasha entry chart, okay, this is interesting. Now let us look at the Aquarius dasha entry chart. Aquarius dasha. Okay, let us go. If you look at the Aquarius Dasha, this is actually very, very interesting chart. This is even more interesting than previous one. If you look at the Dasha Pravesh chart of Aquarius, where is Lagna? The progress Lagna is in Gemini. It's from Aquarius, right? And the ninth lord Rahu, the ninth lord, the Durgasha sign lord shows the Guru. The ninth lord Rahu is exalted in Lagna. What does it show? A Guru coming to the person and spending time with the person. And the other lord of the ninth house, the other Guru, Saturn, where is he? He is with the he's in the seventh house and aspecting Lagna. Right? So both the ways it shows actually blessings of a learned Guru in the spiritual pursuit of this person during this period. So my feeling is between 2019 and 2027 he will find a Guru. Or even if the Guru has come earlier into his life in the previous 9 years, in the previous 8 years, during these 8 years, lot of guidance will come from the Guru to the person. And then the real sadhana that the person does is coming actually quite early in life. So from 23 years of age till 31 years of age, the formative year of the career, etc. During that time, he will do heavy sadhana. That is something irrespective of the exact time of birth. That is one thing we can be confident of. During that period, the sadhana will be maximum in his life. Whatever maximum sadhana he does. And that degree can be determined if we look at Vimsamsa. For that we need accurate time. But within the limits of the Vimsamsa, whatever maximum sadhana he does is probably, in my judgment, in 2027 to 2035. And also 8th house is not just sadhana, but it can show mystical experiences also. So he can experience mystical things during that. Out of body experiences, etc. are also very, very likely during that time. 2027 to 2035. You were saying something, I interrupted you. Rahu and Ketu? Who is? Aquarius Dasha is happening on?
No, on the Aquarius axis is where you have the Rahu Ketu as well. So
Where? In the
Rashi.
I don't get you. Aquarius Dasha, you are talking about still Aquarius Dasha, right? Or Scorpio Dasha?
Aquarius Dasha.
Okay, Aquarius Dasha. Where are Rahu and Ketu? They are in Libra and Aries. So what are you saying? In the Dasha Pravesh Chakra also, I don't think are they on the Aquarius axis? Because he was in Lagna and 7th house axis. So, yeah. Okay, that's fine. So, Scorpio Dasha Pravesh Chakra we haven't seen. Does it actually strengthen the indications from the natal chart or does it pull them down? Let us see how that is. Okay, how is this chart? Yeah. So, Pisces becomes Lagna. Yeah. Now 8th house has only Mercury. There is only Mercury in the 8th house. Earlier there were 3 planets in the Dasha Pravesh Chakra. But the thing is, one of the planets is 7th Lord. I mean, the planet who is there, the only one planet who is there happens to be the 7th Lord. So if the 7th Lord is in 8th house, what is the result we give? In the normal Ayut Dashas, it is death. 7th Lord in 8th. But in this kind of Dasha, what they say is possible? This is spiritual progress. So a death for the purpose of spiritual experience, which is basically mystical experiences. Also, out of body experiences are basically death of the normal consciousness temporarily during that course. So this also strongly suggests mystical experiences, good or bad, but mystical out of body experiences during those 9 years, during those 8 years. And what else? The Lagna Lord and 5th Lord are together. Saturn is in Lagna. Saturn in Lagna is conducive to hard labor. So for spiritual purpose, we are looking at a Dasha that shows only spiritual progress. So hard labor there means being able to punish yourself. If you have to sit 12 hours in a row or even 16 hours in a row, one whole day, you wake up at 6 o'clock, you just sit down till 10 o'clock, maybe getting up in the middle just to have a little bit of milk rice and then sleep, do sadhana again, and then at 10 o'clock in the night or 11 o'clock in the night sleep. If such kind of sadhana has to be done at a particular point of time, he can do. That is what Saturn in Lagna will show. So, and in the natal chart, 8th house will be very strong. 8th house being very strong and Saturn being in Lagna are actually kind of synonymous. Saturn is the karka for 8th house.
And if he is in Lagna, it shows the same suffering. So both the charts are showing lot of suffering for the spiritual purpose, suffering physically, exerting himself. But the interesting thing is there is a nice Raj Yoga. See, the Lagna Lord, Jupiter is here, the 5th Lord Moon is here. They have a Gajgesari Yoga as well as Lagna Lord and 5th Lord aspecting each other. It's a Raj Yoga, which shows, for me, the same thing is happening here also. And I told you earlier, whatever repeats in the Dasha Pravesh Chakra from the natal chart, that will surely certify. So, the Lagna, Moon and Jupiter, Lagna Lord and 5th Lord are together giving Gajgesari Yoga. And Lagna and 5th Lord combination, what does it give? It gives good following. And Gajgesari is a yoga of popularity. So during this time, he will have some level of popularity in some section of the society. He will have some fame during this time. What level, we don't know for sure. We have to look at Vimshamsa and Dashamsa. Both of them are slightly, actually Dashamsa is fine, but Vimshamsa is suspect. So we'll leave that. So what degree of fame, we don't know, but there will be some degree of fame during these 8 years. Some fame, some blessings of a good guru, as well as good spiritual progress. So it's a Dasha of all-round progress.
He actually already got a blessing from
That is good. That is good. But who knows? He is a good guru, but he may not be his guru.
Yeah.
So we meet lot of great people. We get blessings from them, but some of them are not really meant to do anything for us. So their blessings don't go anywhere. I'm not saying this one, but that is possible. So somebody may come after 2011. Somebody else may guide the person. We'll see. Very good.
Another quick question.
Please.
There are a lot of questions coming on I think answer them later. I could go back and hear the Panchanga Shravanam of this year and see what it is.
What is the question about?
The question is about Jupiter transit which happened 2 days back.
Yeah, how is it? So a lot of people are asking you, how is it for me?
People ask me. They ask you also, but I have to go back to hear that. But if we have a quick synopsis for 2 minutes
Well,
in general.
Aries. For Aries people, he is in the 9th house.
9th house.
First of all, he is in Moon sign and Mula Trikona. So he is very strong. Right? And so he, whatever results he gives, he will give very strongly. Now for Aries people, where is he?
9th house.
9th house. Is it good or bad?
Very good. Excellent.
It's very good. But the thing is, at that time I noted down whether he is Pandamurti, Rajamurti, all those things. Unfortunately, I am missing that information right now. That will take a little while to actually create. But you can look at all those things. They modify the results. So the thumb rules are, of course, you can't be just based on one planet. You can say this whole area is good for you. There will obviously ups and downs. It also depends on what dasha you are running. All those things matter. But if you were to just give a blanket result for everybody belonging to one moon sign,
A very specific
then
question in this case is Aries 9th house is okay. In general,
Yeah, yeah.
it's positive. But for what is Jupiter in 8th house for
Taurus. So some Taurus people can ask you. Okay, Taurus, how is Jupiter right now? How is Jupiter right now? You know what? I just want to quickly go back 7 days, or maybe no.
Happened on 22nd.
Okay. Okay. So if somebody is born in Taurus, I took Taurus moon. So let us take the transits. So let us actually say a transit calendar. It will be convenient. Okay. So for
What is this? We never saw this.
we never saw this.
No.
We saw this in the class earlier. So you can say from this date, this time starting then, you say every 1 day or every 10 days you can say up to 15 days or up to whatever days. Show the, give a quick snapshot of the transits, Gochara, the current Gochara. So if you see Jupiter for this person, see this yellow here, you can actually say legend, right? So yellow means Swarnamurti, white means Rajatamurti, silver. This is very good, this is good. Red is copper, Tamramurti, it is bad. Grey is Loha, iron. Iron is very bad. So good, very good, good, bad, very bad. And then these numbers are Ashtakavarga Bindus. And then these green and red is, it shows which Kaksha they are in. Whether it, green means good Kaksha, red means bad Kaksha. And then these Taras. This moon is Tara from moon, and no moon is Tara from Lagna. and green means good tara like Sapat Tara, Kshama Tara, red means Vipat Tara, Pratyak Tara, all those things. And if it is green with a red dot on the top, it means it is a good Tara, but unfortunately there is a Tara Vedha right now. Right. Similarly this, so actually sorry, this is not Tara. This square is house. Basically this is a sign. So 5th house from moon, which is a good house. 5th house from moon, which is a bad house, like that. Right? And Vedha is basically the normal house Vedha. And star symbol is for the star. So 8th star. This means 8th star from moon, good. This means 5th star from moon, bad, like that. So you can get a quick snapshot of the current transits. So if you see Jupiter, why is he in 5th house? Oh, sorry, he is in the 8th house, see? So he is in the 8th house from moon, which is bad here. And he is in the 6th house from Lagna, but Lagna we don't care. This is for this particular chart. The person you are interested in may have a different Lagna. So ignore this second column, but look at this, right? And then Tara. Tara Bala, if you see, it is 5th Tara. But which nakshatra is this? Pardon me? Sorry, am I looking? Okay, Jupiter. So the thing is, yeah, I was looking at Jupiter earlier. I think later Tara is fixed. So 8th house he is in from moon. It is a bad house. So it is a bad transit. But what Murti is he? Swarnamurti.
So it won't be that bad.
It won't be that bad. Had it been in a bad house and also been a copper or iron Murti, rather than Tamra Murti or Loha Murti, it would hammer the person. But here it's not that bad. It is okay.
So
And another thing is, if a planet is badly transiting from moon and there are mental problems and you want to propitiate the planet, if the planet is a Swarnamurti, he is actually likely to
give more better results.
give results, basically withdraw his bad results. He will be easy to convince. Whereas if a planet is in the 8th house and if he is also Lohamurti, he is like a hell-bent person to give you trouble. So it's very difficult to, you should be prepared for that trouble. It's very difficult to get rid of the trouble by propitiation. So here, little bit of prayer to Samba Sadasiva or some god corresponding to Jupiter. Dakshinamurti, you can say. Jupiter in Dhanus can be Dakshinamurti. So Shiva, some auspicious form of Shiva, not Rudra Namakam Jamakam, but Dakshinamurti or some Shiva Stotra. If you pray to Shiva, there is a good chance that whatever trouble the person is experiencing may go away. And another thing I want to tell you is, apart from the moon sign, see where moon is. Is it in Kritika, Rohini, Mrugashira? Based on it, see this Tara. See, right now we took, what did we take? What nakshatra did we take? Don't say. Show the natal chart. So the nakshatra we took is Rohini. The chart that we cast is Rohini. So for the Rohini person, what was the Tara? Do you remember when I put the transit calendar for Jupiter? It is 7th Tara, which is a bad Tara. It is basically 7th is what? Naidhan Tara. Right? So he is a Naidhan Tara for Rohini people. So he is not only in the 8th house, but he is also in Naidhan Tara. Whereas, suppose somebody was Kritika, not Rohini. Kritika 2nd or 3rd or 4th Pada, which is also in Vrishabha, Taurus. Then he would be in Mitra Tara. So at least he is in a bad house, but the Tara is a good Tara. So it will be already mixed, even without taking Murti into consideration. So you can look at the nakshatra, you can look at the house, and you can look at the Murti. Mainly look at Rashi and nakshatra, combine them. And then Murti shows how easygoing or how difficult he is.
You should take the Tara and Nakshatra.
Tara is nakshatra. Tara or house, Bhava.
Tara or Bhava.
Nakshatra or Bhava. So if you can't remember, you can basically open the chart of the person and look here. Look at this transit calendar, and one way to give quick results, if somebody wants to get a snapshot, you may say, hey, Jupiter came into your 9th house, wow, excellent results, great. But the thing is, Shani, Rahu and Ketu may be hammering the person, so the slight benefit given by Jupiter may not even be visible. So whenever people ask you, how is this transit for me, it is a good idea to see it in perspective, looking at the other transits. And Sun, Moon, Mars, if they are bad today, they can be good next month. They are not that important. Look at Shani, Jupiter, look at Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu, because they are stuck in a place for a long time. See all those. So if you look for this person, for example, Saturn is in 4th house, which is terrible. Rahu in 10th is not great, it is also bad. Ketu in 4th is very bad. So Shani and Ketu are hammering the 4th house of Sukha. No Sukha for the person, no happiness.
The first one is the house, second one is
First one is house from moon.
house from moon.
Square shows in astrology, houses we show by squares, right? So the square symbol shows a house, and the moon in the bottom shows house from moon. And this second one shows house from Lagna, which is accurate only if you have the right chart. Here I don't have the right chart, I just have one sample of Rasi. And then the third one is Nakshatra from moon. In all cases, green means good and red means bad. So color coding is very convenient. And then the last one is Murti. And Ashtavagarga you can ignore. I mean, just forget. That is also modifying, but you can forget Ashtavagarga and Kaksha. Just look at the first four. You can get a good sense of how the planet is.
Because majority questions came from Jupiter into the second house.
Because he changed, people are curious. How is he for me now?
Who is it for me?
Is my trouble of my misery over, or is my good run ending? They are curious.
Three people who asked me.
Yeah, you can.
Why Arulagna?
Arulagna is your material status, your overall image.
So the transit planet from Arulagna also is the thing which is
Yes, we have seen a few times in the past. See, the transits from Aruhlagna show how the image of the person is changing with time. Sometimes the person may look like a really very powerful person, and suddenly he may seem like, oh, he can do nothing, man, he is useless. So all those are Aruhlagna changes. It's a, you see? Yes, according to Shastra, it is a bad transit. He will basically make you, he will put a reality check on your image. What is all this image nonsense? He will put a reality check on it. It's not a good transit. Whereas in a Kendra is good. See, Arudhalagna transits are how the world perceives what is happening to you. What is happening to your material status, your image. And moon is your mind, how you are looking at what is happening in your life. So somebody may be perceived by everybody as a powerful person. Oh man, he suddenly became the president of so and so society or so and so country or so and so whatever, or governor of a state. And the person may think, oh my God, what a mess I got into. I was happy earlier playing golf. Now I have to everyday problem. Yeah. So that is moon basically. Moon transit may be bad, Arulagna transit may be good, or vice versa. Somebody may be actually feeling great, but people may think, what a guy. Earlier he was living in a palace. Now he left everything in US. He is living in a small hut in India. What is he doing here? He is crazy. People may think. People perceive you as a. That is what my logic would say, but that is the rule that I am taught. I'm not sure of the real basis of the rule, but that is the rule I was taught. There is one specific rule. If Jupiter is transiting in the 9th house from Arulagna, the material image of the person takes a blow, and the person gets a reality check on what is all this materialism. He gets a chance to become more spiritual. But the thing is, one way to explain that would be Jupiter is the planet of the highest truth, not the arbitrary truth. He is the planet of spirituality. He is the planet of wisdom. When he is in the 9th house, basically he is transiting in the 9th house, you have to appear as somebody who is wise. And if you are hanging on to all the material success, you may not appear like a wise person. Whereas if you let some material benefits go, suppose you leave some material success, then people may think that, oh, this person is very wise. So maybe from that point of view, so maybe it's not a big setback. Like for example, Saturn transiting the 8th from Arulagna, that can give you a big setback. Your material status can take a big blow. Suddenly you may become a pauper also. So we will anyway wind up in a minute. See, almost 9, we will wind up. So whereas Jupiter in the 9th from Arulagna giving material problems, they may be of a different nature, where you are being tested on what is materialism and what is spiritualism. So that is my take on it. And you can see what happens in your own case, because you said Jupiter is transiting in the. Pardon me? I see. So see, if the stress on the materialism decreases,
or at least you will see that your stress on materialism has decreased. Perhaps that is what will happen. Okay. So with that I will end for today. So hope we answered some of your questions, and all the best. But Narasimha worship or some form of Vishnu worship, preferably Narasimha, I will say, is extremely beneficial. It will be very beneficial. And another thing is, actually I wanted to say one more thing. Is Rahu stronger or Saturn in Navamsha? What do you guys? For me? Yeah. I was looking at the chart earlier. See, Ishtadevata we wanted to see. Then we got sidetracked to being Lagna being in the 12th from Atmakaraka. Who is the Ishtadevata? Saturn and Rahu. Who's stronger? For me? AK is Mercury, the 12th is Aquarius, owned by Saturn and Rahu. Who should you take as the Lord? See, you can take the stronger Lord or you can take any Lord. As a matter of fact, let's take Saturn. Irrespective of who's stronger, maybe Rahu is stronger, I don't know. Yeah, I think, which house is this? AL. Yeah, Rahu is stronger, but we can still take Saturn as the Lord. Why? Because he is aspecting that sign. So, you can start with him. Results will come faster. So, eventually the person who gives moksha to this person may be Rahu, eventually. But if you start with Saturn, it is easier. And who does Saturn show? Again, Vishnu. Saturn can show Venkateswara also, but Vishnu is sufficient. Neptune and Saturn both show Vishnu. So, Saturn Vishnu worship, either as Narasimha or Vishnu himself, is good for that also. It is not only for removing the obstacles in life, which are likely to be, but also take the person towards moksha. But eventually, when the person is ready for moksha, the one who will give it is, because the 12th house is empty, the stronger lord of Lagna, of the 12th house from Atmakarka, which is Rahu. Who does Rahu show? It can be Durga. Rahu can be Durga. Rahu in a Venusian sign. So it is very likely Durga. So eventually he has to find Durga. But it is a very good idea not to start with Durga. It can happen much later. There is no hurry at all. Just keep it at the back of your mind that there is something with Durga. She is happy with him. So she will give him quick progress. I mean, she will give him moksha. Or she will take him as close to moksha as he can get in this life. But to start with, Vishnu is the best devata for him. So let him worship Narasimha, either with that mantra or just Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. That was actually. So or just say Narasimha. If you can't say such complicated things now, you can just say Narasimha. That's enough. Okay. So with that, my best wishes and my blessings to your son from the entire class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti